So let me get this right. They found a preacher man that married Aaliyah and R Kelly. They rolled his ass in on Zoom. Kind of puts you in the mind of how they did his music teacher, Miss McLean. They rolled her ass in on the set of Surviving R. Kelly. According to him, he was doing a friend a favor and didn't know Aaliyah and R. Kelly at the time. Lies. It was so many red flags, but he ignored them all. Red flag number 1. Why are they getting married in a hotel room? One of the suspects in attendance asked him to sign a non-disclosure agreement. He refused, but promised not to tell. Red flag number 2. He's 73 years old now, so he would have been, 46 years old then. The entire scene and everybody's behavior was questionable, but he married them anyway. The room was filled with all male adults and one underage teenager. He noticed Aaliyah and R. Kelly was dressed alike, and Aaliyah's hair was swooshed to one side of her face, covering one of her eyeballs. But he couldn't determine she was underage. Lies. I don't give a damn about that preacher man. He's suspect too. Then we have Alexis taking the stand. She met R. Kelly at a concert in Jacksonville, Florida. She had an on and off relationship with R. Kelly for about 9 years. According to the media, the relationship started at age 15. She is 31 years old now. Check out the mail. On the stand, she made it clear that she didn't want to be there, stating, "I don't recall how old I was at the time. It's hard to remember. It was 16 years ago." Like, girl, how dumb can you be? You know how old you are now. Mine is 16 years ago. According to Alexis, she don't recall how often her and R. Kelly got busy when asked. But she do remember him taking her to the mall and to the movies. She also remember traveling to Chicago, Atlanta, Detroit, and Palm Springs to be with R. Kelly. Trafficking! In 2010, she became pregnant and stopped seeing R. Kelly. Check this out. 2 years after having her baby, she started back seeing R. Kelly. Then she had her baby daddy in 2015 to text R. Kelly to tell R. Kelly it's over. She want to be a wife. She in a relationship. So, somewhere between 2012 and 2015, she stopped seeing R. Kelly. And up at the blue, all of a sudden, her baby daddy and or boyfriend decides to text R. Kelly and tell R. Kelly she don't want to see him no more. She wants to be a wife. What the fuck? Bitch, you was already gone. I don't like how Alexis got up on this stand and protected R. Kelly. She made it very clear that she was okay with being violated by a grown man when she was a child. Then the forensic took the stand. Long story short, he verified that it was R. Kelly DNA on Jerhonda Pace blue shirt.
In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Later Wednesday afternoon, jurors heard brief testimony from a pastor who secretly wed Robert and musical artist Aaliyah when she was 15 years old. For the first time, he described publicly how they wore matching jogging suits for a 10-minute ceremony at a Chicago area hotel. The pastor, Nathan Edmond, testified he was recruited to marry Rob and the young singer as a favor for a friend after he was shown a marriage license claiming she was 18. He said he didn't recognize the groom or the bride as she was wearing her hair down over her face. He wasn't aware that she was anyone special. Edmund's testimony took place via video conference, where he would also make it clear that he did not want to be there. Part of the reason Edmund has never spoken publicly about the marriage is because he was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement before officiating the wedding. He said he chuckled at the request, which led Rob to ask him why he was laughing. He said the non-disclosure wasn't worth the paper it was written on, it should have been more airtight. Ultimately, Edmund did not sign the non-disclosure agreement, but he gave Kelly his word and never spoke publicly about the marriage until now, due to a subpoena. Day 11 brought about new testimony from a woman who was actually reluctant to take the stand. She testified under the name Alexis and said she began a friendship turned intimate relationship with the R&B star at the age of 15. The relationship lasted on and off for 9 years. Now 31 years old, Alexis said she met Rob at a concert in Jacksonville, Florida, during his Light It Up tour in 2006. She was 15 going on 16 when she was invited backstage by someone in his entourage to meet Rob. She would then meet him the next day on his tour bus in a mall parking lot, where she allegedly signed a non-disclosure agreement. Alexis didn't recall if they discussed her age, because it was so long ago, but she did say that Rob was open to a platonic friendship. She acknowledged under questioning by prosecutors that she did not want to testify at the trial, and she had hazy memories of when and where their alleged encounters took place. She couldn't remember how often they were intimate, but she said her first time with him was at his suburban Chicago home. It didn't take place on the first visit, and it didn't happen every time they were together. She said the first time she went to visit him, they went to the movies or to the mall. Later, she would travel with Rob to Atlanta, Detroit, and Palm Springs. She was sometimes concerned about being recorded, like the time when she was with Rob and his crew at a local McDonald's. She said they were sitting around, eating and joking, and putting it all on video. She worried about being on camera because she was around 17 at the time, still under the age of 18. Alexis became pregnant in 2010 and stopped talking to Kelly. 2 years later, she began seeing him again. In 2015, after she began a relationship with someone else, she decided to cut ties with Rob once again. She testified that she still had feelings for the musician and continued to attend occasional concerts in Jacksonville. Kelly's defense team declined to cross-examine the witness, as her testimony didn't appear to be damaging. DNA expert Mr. Wu examined the blue t-shirt that Jerhonda Pace testified about on the first day of the trial. According to Pace, on her last day at Rob's home, he found out that she texted a friend. He flew into a rage and would then proceed to spit on her. She said she used her blue shirt to wipe her face and saved it. The shirt would also have Rob's semen on it. Mr. Wu told the jury he compared DNA known to be Rob's, taken from a cheek swab, to the DNA found on the t-shirt, and they were exactly the same. On cross-examination by Rob's attorney, the expert acknowledged that he did not know the origin of the shirt, or whether it had even been stolen for that matter. There was actually no way for the expert to confirm where the shirt came from. Next, prosecutors called Chris Wilson, a computer forensic agent for the Department of Homeland Security. Wilson testified about 3 devices he examined, 2 iPhones, and a laptop, from which he said he was able to retrieve everything. He said he found a text message that read, "You're young, and there's a lot of things you don't know. I want to groom you and be bonded with you." This message was sent on December 24, 2017, but the sender of the message was unnamed.